Story begins with a coffee cup just like this in Sisters Coffee Company in Sisters, Oregon. After working with teenagers for 27 years, I knew God was doing something in my heart. I could feel a shift in the wind, and I took the week off. I went to Eastern Oregon, helped a friend do a guided elk hunt, spent the time in prayer and reflection and just really thinking about the last quarter century of my life of working with students and what the second half of my life would look like. And I just wandered in thought and in prayer and wondering about what God would have for me. And my wanderings led me to Sisters, Oregon, where I spent 3 days in a coffee shop just reflecting on God's plan for my life and trying to figure out what was going on and just sipping coffee and just hanging out. And at one point I looked at my coffee cup. This is actually the cup. And I looked at a quote, and there was a quote on this coffee cup. And it was from a guy who lived and wrote around 185 AD, a guy named Saint Irenaeus. And on this cup was the quote, "The glory of God is man fully alive." And as I looked at that verse, I realized I hadn't been alive. I'd been in a rut. And I needed to dig myself out. So as I pondered this quote and I reflected on my life, I began to ask myself a series of questions. What am I passionate about? At what point do I see God really using me? What wrecks my heart? What breaks me? What really frustrates me? Every answer to those questions had to do with speaking to, ministering to, or considering men and the state of manhood in America. And I sat in that coffee shop, and in a moment of clarity I realized that God had changed my heart. My heart had shifted to help restore a man's lost identity. Something had been stolen from men along the way, and I don't know what it is, but men are lost. They don't know who they are. And I realized that I needed to help fix that with a nation of men who desperately need our help to dig them out of a hole. So I went back home. I told my wife about what we were doing, what was going on, and we decided to launch the Great Hunt for God with a mission of restoring a man's lost identity. And a year later, we are on our own, and we are trying to impact a nation of men, and we are so excited about the journey that God has us on, and we're so excited about your potential journey with us.